Hey guys, welcome back to the Python tutorial for beginners. In this video we're going to see how to prompt the user for input. So when your application is completed and is finally actually being used, then there's a good chance that you might need some input from the user that's using it. So then once we can do that, we can take the input that we get from the user and store it in a variable, and then we can do some things with it. So before we get started with that, let me say that if you like the videos and you find them helpful at all, be sure to like and subscribe, and then whenever I post a video, you'll get notified so you can keep up with the tutorial. Okay, so back to user input. So I've got PyCharm already loaded up here, and it's opened up to our Programming Vault project. And so we're going to go ahead and the first thing we're going to do is prompt the user. So we'll just do a print statement. And we'll say, please enter your name. Right? So when you run the program, that's what happens. It'll print that out, and it'll ask the user to enter their name. But now what we need to do is we need to use a built-in function called input in Python to be able to get the input back that they type in, and we'll actually store that in a variable. So I'll store that in a variable called name, because it makes sense to use variable names that describe the values that they hold, right? So what we'll do is we'll take the input function and we'll assign that value to the variable called name. And so then once we have that, we can just print it out. So we'll print hello there plus name. Right, so let's run this and see how it works. So I'll go ahead and run it, and so you see there's our prompt. It's asking us to enter our name, and we'll just say Programming Vault, and we'll hit enter. And when we do, that should prompt the rest of the application to go ahead and run. So once we hit enter on this name, it should store these words into the variable called name, and then the next line will execute. It tells it to print out hello there plus name, and it did in fact do that, right? And it says hello there Programming Vault. And that's all well and good, but you know that programming is about being more efficient and saving time. So there's actually even a better way to do this. I just wanted to show you the basic way first, but now there's a better way that you can do this in less lines. So what if we did this? What if we went ahead and created our variable and said that name equals input, and then inside here we put the prompt. Please enter your name. And see, so that way we created the variable, prompted the user for the input, and we'll store the input inside the variable all in one line. And now all we have to do is do our printout, right? So we'll say hello there, and use concatenation like we learned in our string video, right? So let's go ahead and run this and make sure it works exactly the same way. Please enter your name, and we'll just say Fred. We'll hit enter, and yep, it works exactly the same way. So what if we wanted to know more than one thing, right? We can only assign input to one variable name, right? Sometimes we might want to know many different things, right, from the user. So we can just line up different kinds of input, right? So we'll keep the name there, to please enter your name, and we'll also go ahead and make another variable and say, so in the new variable we'll use the input function, and we'll say please enter your age, right? So now when we run this, it'll prompt the user to enter their name, the user will enter it and hit enter, and then that value will be stored in the variable name, and then it'll go directly and prompt the user again to enter their age, and that'll be stored, or that'll come in as input and be stored in the variable age. And then we can just print it out like this. hello there. Well, so we'll say hello there, whatever your name is, and then we'll print you are age years old. Okay, let's give this a try. Please enter your name, and we'll say Jeffrey. Please enter your age, and we'll say 25. Hello there, Jeffrey. Oh, I left the colon in my I left the colon in my printout. So we'll just correct that just for our sake. Run it again. So this time will be Ted. Please enter your name, Ted. Please enter your age, 28. Hello there, Ted. You are 28 years old. So there you go. That's pretty much the basics of prompting users for input and reading input into a variable name so you can manipulate it and do certain actions on those variables. Now later on, when we look at lists and different data structures, we'll find out different ways we can use these values that we get input by the user. But for now, just knowing that we can prompt the user for input, get the value back from them and store it in a variable so we can do things with it is very important. So I hope you found this helpful. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I thank you for watching.